Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. is deeply troubled over Iran's satellite launch.
We consider that to be continued ballistic missile development. We consider this to be a provocative action.
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. is deeply troubled over Iran's satellite launch. In a tweet, Pompeo alleged that the Iran secret space program advances technologies used in nuclear weapons delivery systems. The state secretary said Iran continues to lie that its space program is peaceful, civilian, and transparent.
You know what's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard on YouTube and in Western media? That Iran is years away from having intercontinental ballistic missile capability. And that before Iran can build such a missile, the United States should bomb Iran into oblivion. This is the life mission of Benjamin Netanyahu. They've been saying this for almost 2 decades now. Iran can't reach the US, they keep repeating. They don't have the technology, but we must act now before it's too late. But here's what they won't tell you. Iran has been able to hit any city in America since 2009. Not tomorrow, not in 5 years, 17 years ago. And the proof? It's been orbiting above your head this entire time. In 2009, Iran launched the Omid satellite into space, 450 kilometers above Earth. That satellite is still up there, traveling millions of kilometers, completing thousands of orbits. And here's the part that makes Pentagon generals sweat at night. The same rocket that put that satellite in orbit can deliver a warhead to Washington, New York, or Los Angeles in under 30 minutes. But Iran hasn't fired a single one at America. Why? Because unlike the United States, which bombs countries on the other side of the planet just to spread democracy, Iran actually has moral principles. Iran doesn't threaten nations with nuclear annihilation, doesn't invade countries for oil, doesn't claim to be the world police while committing war crimes every decade. And that terrifies Israel and America more than any missile ever could. Because if Iran, a country under 5,000 sanctions, more than any nation in history, can master intercontinental ballistic missile technology using solid fuel, something even Russia and China struggled with for decades, then what does that say about Western technological superiority? What does it say when Iran builds missiles that cost a fraction of American systems but can penetrate every defense the West has? And what does it say when Iran chooses not to use this capability, while America drops bombs on 7 different countries simultaneously? That's what we're going to expose in this video. We're going to reveal the hidden truth about Iran's space program, how it's actually the most advanced covert ICBM program on Earth, and how Iran has quietly assembled the most lethal tactical missile arsenal in the world, weapons so advanced that even America doesn't have equivalents. And at the end, we'll answer the question that keeps Israeli and American officials up at night. Why hasn't Iran used this capability yet? So buckle up, because this video is about to destroy everything the West told you about Iran's primitive missile program. YouTube has rules, and we can't show you everything here. For the full uncensored version, check our Telegram channel in the description. That's where the real information lives. Let me take you back to February 2nd, 2009. Iran announces it successfully launched the Omid satellite into orbit, the first satellite ever launched by a Middle Eastern country using its own rocket. And immediately, Western media went into full panic mode. CNN, BBC, Fox News, every single one of them was screaming, "Iran is testing ballistic missile technology. This is a threat to global security." The West must respond. Because what Iran proved that day wasn't just that it could launch a satellite. Iran proved it could deliver a warhead to any city in America. Let me explain the math. Because this is simple physics the Pentagon understands perfectly, even if they pretend not to. To put a satellite into low Earth orbit at 450 kilometers altitude, you need a rocket capable of reaching speeds of approximately 7.8 kilometers per second. That's about 28,000 kilometers per hour. You need that velocity to overcome Earth's gravity and maintain orbital flight. Now here's the critical part. An intercontinental ballistic missile doesn't need to reach orbital velocity. An ICBM follows a suborbital trajectory. It goes up, arcs through space, and comes back down. To hit a target 12,000 kilometers away, the distance from Tehran to Washington, D.C., you only need to reach about 6.5 to 7 kilometers per second. That's less velocity than what Iran already demonstrated in 2009. Do the math. If Iran can put a 50-kilogram satellite into stable orbit at 450 kilometers, meaning it achieved orbital velocity, then the same rocket, with a slightly different trajectory and a heavier warhead instead of a satellite, can easily deliver a 500-kilogram nuclear warhead to anywhere in the continental United States. This isn't speculation. This is basic rocket science. And the Pentagon knows it. Now you understand why the US government keeps a close eye on Elon Musk's space program. Falcon 9 and Starship use liquid fuel. But even then, that is an insane amount of power concentrated in the hands of one individual. Governments don't like that. Each SpaceX rocket has the capability to deliver multiple payloads to virtually any point on Earth if viewed through a military lens. And that's exactly what makes people nervous. Do you think Elon is hiding a couple of ICBMs under his bed? Maybe they're just sitting quietly in his garage next to a Tesla, or parked in a SpaceX hangar labeled "Nothing to see here." In fact, there's a reason why every single spacefaring nation, the United States, Russia, China, uses their satellite launch vehicles as the foundation for their ICBM programs, because they're the same technology. The only difference? The trajectory you program into the guidance system. Point it up and keep it accelerating. You get a satellite, point it up and let it arc back down, you get an ICBM. Iran mastered this 17 years ago. But here's where it gets even more impressive, and this is the part that really humiliates the West. Iran didn't just copy Russian or Chinese rocket designs like most countries do. Iran invented a completely unique solution that makes its satellite launchers even more dangerous as ICBMs. You see, most countries use liquid-fueled rockets for space launches. Russia's Soyuz, America's Atlas V, China's Long March, they all use liquid fuel because it's easier to control, more efficient for reaching orbit, and has been the standard since the 1960s. But liquid fuel has one massive disadvantage in a military context. You can't keep it ready to launch. Liquid-fueled ICBMs take hours to fuel before launch. That means if you're under attack, if enemy satellites spot you preparing the missile, if you need an immediate second strike capability, you're finished. By the time you fuel the missile, enemy bombers have already destroyed your launch site. This is why America and Russia transitioned to solid-fuel ICBMs decades ago, because solid fuel can sit in a missile for years, ready to launch in minutes. No fueling, no preparation, just press the button and the missile fires. But here's the problem. Solid fuel rockets are incredibly difficult to design and manufacture. The propellant chemistry is more dangerous. The combustion is harder to control. The efficiency is lower. And scaling up to the size needed for an ICBM or satellite launcher? Most countries can't do it. Iran did it anyway. Iran is one of the only countries in the world that uses solid fuel rockets for orbital space launches. Not even China or India do this routinely for their main satellite programs. Russia doesn't. Europe doesn't, only Iran and the United States. And what does that give Iran? The ability to launch an ICBM with zero warning, from a mobile launcher with a range of 12,000 kilometers, carrying a 500-kilogram warhead. Iran built the ultimate strategic deterrent, and did it while under the most severe sanctions in human history. But that's still not the most terrifying part. Because while Iran was developing this satellite launcher, officially called the Sophia rocket, Western intelligence agencies were so focused on Iran's liquid-fueled Shahab missiles that they completely missed what Iran was really building. They missed the development of the ICBM 100, Iran's most advanced solid-fuel space launch vehicle, which intelligence analysts now admit is essentially a road-mobile ICBM with a fresh coat of paint. The ICBM 100 weighs just 19 tons. It's only 14.5 meters long. It fits on a standard commercial truck, indistinguishable from civilian vehicles. Compare that to America's Minuteman III ICBM, which weighs 35 tons, requires a dedicated silo, and costs over $12 million per missile just to maintain every year. Iran's ICBM 100? Estimated cost, less than $1 million per unit, and it can be mass-produced. Here's what that means in practical terms. Iran could build hundreds of these missiles, mount them on commercial trucks, and disperse them across the country. American satellites couldn't track them all. Israeli intelligence couldn't target them all. Even a nuclear first strike couldn't destroy them all. This is called an assured second strike capability, and only 5 countries in the world have it: the US, Russia, China, France, Britain. Now add Iran to that list. You can add this channel to your subscription list too. And don't forget to check our Telegram channel link below. The content there is next level. Thank you for all the support and motivation. This is East Wind Brigade, where our voices unite and we rise together.